Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq-100 index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed on Nasdaq. The NDX has been the barometer for U.S. large cap growth and also one of the best performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining us this Friday afternoon, we have Sara Mehle. She's the ESG index strategist with Nasdaq Global Indexes to discuss how to use point and figure methodology to determine key levels in the Nasdaq-100. Sara, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Hey, Jill, great to see you. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday indeed, especially for those of you following the index. It has been quite the volatile week for a number of macro and earnings related factors. Let's take a look at your first chart here. Explain to us what point and figure is and how you use it to determine levels.
Sure. So, point and figure is a way that we're able to chart price movement of any security in a logical, organized manner. So we're not going to chart prices every day. We have charting rules that kind of help cut out the market noise, if you will. But this is a chart, a longer term chart of the Nasdaq-100 index. We can see that in November 2021, we hit that all-time high. And this chart actually goes back to around September of 2020. So we can see that the price movement generally we see that uptrend, and it was, relatively speaking, a steady ride. This year, we've seen volatility. We know that it's felt choppy. We know that day to day, midday, we might think that we're going to finish up and all of a sudden we're down. But when we're able to take a step back and look at the Nasdaq-100 price movement through this objective lens, like a point and figure chart, I really think it does tell a story here. So definitely we've seen, buy signals turn to sell signals. Those are signals that we track on point and figure charts. And we've seen key levels of support tested. So just yesterday on this chart, I have a level of support highlighted there in yellow. We saw the Nasdaq-100 bounce off of this support level. This is a support level that goes back over a year or almost a year now, to May of 2021. This was tested and it's held 3 times. And I actually just had to update this chart because with today's intraday action, we've seen this chart reverse back down into O's once again. Yesterday, we saw, about 3.48% rally in the Nasdaq-100. This was enough to cause that reversal up, thanks to some of the bigger tech stocks. Today, I just checked, and it looks like we're down almost 3.48%. So volatility is, it's crazy. But we have now reversed back down to test that support level again, which is a very notable support level, again, going back just about a year now.
Yeah, the round trips day to day have been quite astonishing. So when you use a point and figure methodology, trying to remove that noise, as you look at levels going forward, whether it's resistance, support, or where you are right now, what numbers are you coming up with?
Exactly. So that 12,900 level is going to be that level that we're watching here, because a move to that level, so 12,900 or lower, would mark a spread quadruple sell signal. This would also mark the second consecutive sell signal on the chart. We are watching that trend line. So we did see the Nasdaq-100 trend line flip negative this past week. It actually only had been positive for a month. We tend to see these things stay in place. So again, another sign of just volatility, the trend flipping back and forth due to no sustained movement. We're going to watch for that potential trend flip. And then also we want to see where, if we were to reverse up into X's from here, where would the column of X's exceed the previous column of X's? And that's called a point and figure buy signal. That's a confirmation of demand coming back into control. But right now, I think, with today's test, to that level, that yellow line that I had drawn there, this is definitely one to watch and one to, we're going to have to go somewhere off of this line. We're going to have to go up or we're going to have to go down. So again, that 12,900, the 14,550 is where we're going to return to a positive trend, and then 13,650 from here was where that, if we were to reverse up, the column of X's would exceed the previous column of X's. So in my opinion, just again, today with that test, I'm going to have some price alerts set, and I'm really going to follow that closely. And this is using intraday prices.
All right. Sara, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.